or visit Prevnar20.com.
The Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and online at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome in to the Roundtable. This is Andy Herzer, Executive Director of First Shot. I'm here with a good friend of mine today. We want to talk a few things that's going on in the city. Kurt Wade, well, welcome in.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you having me this morning.
Well, we kind of talked a little bit off air. I want to talk to you. Why did you get into politics? Why are you giving back to this community as a councilman?
I think for me, Andy, I think it goes back to how I was raised. My dad was a city councilman in Trenton, Tennessee, and West Tennessee. And one of the things I've always said, I didn't want to serve. But once I got the opportunity to serve, I realized why my dad did it and why he made a difference in our community. And that's one of the things that I do enjoy doing, is making a difference in our community. And I truly believe that I have made a difference here since I've been in Murfreesboro. Murfreesboro is a good place to live. It's a good place to raise kids. Murfreesboro is steady growing, and I think we've made some good decisions here in our city. And as we continue to grow, I think we're looking what's best for our community. What does our community want? What's going to make our community enticing to want kids to get an education here at MTSU, but yet stay here?
So when you look back on your dad and your family, you go off to college, get into the NFL. Tell us how you did that, how that all came about.
All right. So I went to college, and I finished college. Once I finished college, I was working at UPS, and after I worked at UPS for a couple of hours, after a while you get tired and you get done with stuff. And so I was like, all right, I need to move somewhere else. And so the only opportunity I had at the time that I could see was I was working at the Maxwell House, downtown Nashville. And I worked there for about 2 years in sales. After 2 years, I worked at Opryland. Opryland called and said, hey, why don't you come work for us and be our sales guy, and you're going to be over the sports part. And so the Jaguars was the first NFL team to ever stay at Opryland Hotel. And that was a big thing to have the Jaguars just stay at Opryland. But before they came to stay at that hotel, the Jaguars called me one day and said, hey, can you fly down? We want to talk to you. So I ended up flying down to Jacksonville, and their general manager said, hey, bring your golf clubs. So they put me up at Sawgrass. This was on a Friday. They had a car pick me up, and he calls back on Friday afternoon and said, hey, we got busy. We'll see you tomorrow. They left me at Sawgrass the whole entire weekend. So they said, you can charge whatever you want to, back to the room, just whatever. So that Saturday morning, nobody showed up. So I go to Sawgrass and I play golf, and I charge it back to the room. I play golf all day, and I'm like, man, this is heaven right here. So Sunday, same thing. They were busy. So I eat breakfast. I go to Sawgrass, charge it back to the room again. And Monday morning, they come pick me up and said, hey, can you be back in 2 weeks and be manager of football operations? I was like, I think this might be a good idea. I get to play golf like this, and this is the life. So I actually ended up working in the front office for the Jaguars for 5.5 years. I did all our team travel, logistics. Got to sit on the host committee when the Super Bowl was there. So really just getting ingrained in the community, and I think that drilled my passion once I got back here to say, hey, I really want to make a difference.
So when you're sitting on a committee like that to host the Super Bowl, what are some of the things you learned, and what skills did you gain from it?
I think I already had the logistics skills by dealing with the Jaguars, but I think what I learned, Andy, was this. We were not prepared to host a Super Bowl in Jacksonville. We were not big enough city to host host a Super Bowl. When you have to bring in cruise ships to put people on, we had people staying as far away as Orlando, which was 2.5 hours. That's not how Super Bowl is meant to be. You got to have enough hotel rooms, and the logistic was a nightmare. We were busing people from Jacksonville to Orlando, Jacksonville to darn near almost to Miami. It was insane.
So when you look at that, and you now look at the new stadium, I know this is one I wanted to get into, or you may want to get it.
Yeah.
You look at the hotels that are going up in
Nashville.
Yeah. But if they host, how does that affect a Murfreesboro?
It affects everybody. It affects everybody within probably 120-mile radius. And so it affects us because bottom line is everybody can't stay downtown Nashville, so they're going to drive outside to the suburbs, to these existing cities, and that would be good for us. And most of the time, what has happened in the NFL in the past is if you get a new stadium, they're always going to award you with a Super Bowl. And I think once the Titans do get a new stadium, that will happen here, that Nashville will get a Super Bowl. And that would be great for everybody.
So my question is, I look at Nashville and I look at Jacksonville, very similar in size. Are we in the same predicament?
I don't think so. Jacksonville just didn't have enough hotel rooms. And you think about, I don't know how many hotel rooms Nashville has now, but at one time you had 4 or 5 big hotels there, and that was it. I think now they're up to 30 or 40 hotels, which you probably need a little bit more, but I think they're on the horizon. They're coming.
Awesome. Well, Kurt, let's kind of shift gears here and talk about your family, your 3 boys. I'm always asking.
Yeah.
You and I are friends, and so you got 3 boys.
3 boys. And my oldest is Jonathan, and just like I was telling you, Jonathan spent 8 years with the Carolina Panthers. Jonathan worked there while he was in college, and when he finished college at UTC, they hired him full time, and he spent his last 5 years there. He's coaching now. He's teaching now at a private school in Nashville. He's doing well. And my middle son Zachary, he's a junior at Tennessee Southern, and then everybody knows Ben because he plays golf here. Ben's a senior at Blackman High School.
So, middle son, Tennessee Southern, which used to be the old
Martin Methodist.
Martin Methodist.
Yep.
That town's exploded a little bit because of a university that is on the rise. 5,000-6,000 students now.
Yeah. Well, I think what had happened to Martin Methodist is once the University of Tennessee took over, put a little spark into the university now, and it's a very nice little private little college. When I say private, it's not private, but it's private because it's just isolated there by itself in their city, and I think that my son, the middle son, needed that exposure to be in that small environment, and I think it's been a good fit for him.
So we're talking about your youngest now, Ben, the golfer.
Yep.
He's in the process of making decision. I know he's leaning somewhere.
Yep. Ben is he's got an offer. He's got 2 or 3 offers, but for some reason Ben wants to get out of the state and he wants to go and spread his wings, and I want him to do that. And so right now we've got an offer on the table from North Carolina Central University in Durham. Full ride golf scholarship, and so we're excited about the opportunity. We will be going there in another week or 2. We've already seen the campus. We've been there. We've explored the campus, but this time to go back and put some.
It's a great
on the
college
paper.
area.
It's an outstanding college.
You're talking not just North Carolina, Duke, and NC State.
Yeah, you got all the other colors. You got Wake Forest that's there.
Yeah, you've got so many, but I mean so many schools. North Carolina Central size
size
in that area too. I mean, it's crazy, and in and of itself. You probably got 15, 20 schools.
Yeah, I think what I looked at in that Durham circle in that area, you've had at least about 8 colleges within a 120-mile radius of each other. I mean, that's a lot of colleges and a lot of big-time colleges, a lot of good programs. So I think this would be a great opportunity for him to go off to school and somewhere he could be successful.
Well, I wish him the best of luck. It's really been fun because I'm a sports guy, obviously.
Yeah.
Following his career because of you, and you tell him I wish him the best of luck.
Will do.
Kurt, tell me 3 things about yourself that you want people to know.
I think the first thing I would say is that once you get to know me, I'm just down to earth. But the most enjoyable thing that I can say about myself is I like to see everybody do good. And that's just when something happens on the council, I don't say I did this. It's about we did this. It's just like when I tell people when I get ready to vote, I vote on what's best for Murfreesboro, not what's best for that community out here, but what's best for Murfreesboro. And it is, as I continue to get older, I think if we look at the world, what can we do to make the world a better place? How can I make a change? Or can I come up with a solution? Because what happens is somebody says, well, that's bad, that's bad.
Well, what's the solution?
What's the solution? How can we come together? How can we put both sides together and say, hey, let's make it good on everybody? So really just trying to bring people together. And I think the third thing is I'm compassionate about what I do and the people that I meet through this walk of life. You know, you don't meet a lot of good people. Or let me put it like this. You meet a lot of good people along your walk of life. Some stick with you and some are just for a season. And those that are stick with you, those are really your true friends. And that's how I see life.
So let's put on your other hat.
Okay.
The businessman.
Okay.
What got you into what you're doing?
Well, it's just all about opportunity and it's just stepping out and trying something different. You know,
so give them the name.
Price paving. So what I've tried to learn from price paving is I started out seal coating and striping commercial parking lots, and that's how I really got into the game. I didn't know anything about it, but you know, sometimes you have to learn something different. I didn't know anything about construction side of the business, but I knew about the business side of the business, so I had to flip the hat. And so what I had always learned is, you know, the only way you can make money out here in this world, you got to have a suit on, tie on every day, and go to work. But there's other jobs and other opportunities out there that I just didn't know. But now that I know, I'm trying to help other people saying, hey, you know what? You don't want to go to school 4 years. You don't have to. Go to trade school. Get you a trade. Do something different, because there's a lot of people out here that are plumbers, drywall, whatever. They're making good money, and I think sometimes we keep pushing kids to go to school 4 years, and they're not. They don't want to go to school 4 years.
Kurt, we've given some of those a negative connotation.
That's what it is. Negative
and it's just, and we've done it because we sold everybody that everybody has to go to college.
Exactly.
I mean, when I was growing up, I'm 10, 12 years older than you, Kurt. Not everybody took the SAT or ACT.
That's right.
Only those that were in college prep classes that thought that they might want to go. If you didn't, so I'm in a class of about 120. There's only 40 or 50 of us in there taking that test. So there's 70 others. Now everybody takes it. It's just not even, it's because we think that's the next step.
Well, you know, I think we've talked in the past about this, and we can talk about trade schools, but every kid's different. And I think we need to know that, and we need to understand that. And, you know, when I talk to teachers and principals, I think that's the first thing I'm talking is saying, hey, little Johnny over here is different than Sally over here. Little Johnny might not have a place to lay his head or get food once he leaves the school. And so we've got to be cognizant of that when little Johnny comes back that next day. And if you don't have that proper home environment and and then we expect a kid to sit in a classroom for 6 hours, 7 hours, and be responsive. He's not going to be that same kid like that other kid that has went home, had 2 or 3 meals and a snack, and had a nice bed to lay in, and get up, eat breakfast before he goes to school. But little Johnny doesn't have all that ability to do that. So we got to treat that kid different.
You know, I've learned a lot in the 20 years of doing what I'm doing, but one of the most embarrassing times for me was we had this young junior counselor, and to become a junior counselor first shot, they had to fill out an application. They had to come in and interview. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to teach them skills, right?
Yep.
And at the end of the week, we paid them. And I said, so what are you going to go buy yourself? She said, I'm not. I'm giving this to my grandma so we can pay for a bill. Now, you tell me that my heart didn't sink because I assumed that she was going to get to keep it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it puts things in perspective. Because bottom line is we all live in a different world, and that's sometimes we got to take ourselves out of that bubble. How can we make a difference? How can we help somebody? And that's the same thing as far as being on the council. We might not be helping people directly or indirectly, but we're helping people. And I think same thing that you do with your camp and with your foundation is you're trying to make a difference. Because if you're saving one, that one is a great thing.
I heard it was back in 2014 from a Navy SEAL. And he said, this is the generation. We're in it right now. The generation, if you will help 10 people.
Yeah.
Just 10 people. In our lifetime, if we would just help 10 people. And they help 10 people.
That's right.
And they help 10 people. So now we're 3 generations out. We've helped everybody that exists in the world.
You're changing the world. One person at a time, 10 people at a time. And that makes a difference. And, and Andy, I need to tell you publicly, and thank you for what you do in our community and how you reach out and give back. Because you know what? You don't have to, but you chose, this is your following. And a lot of people don't do that. And you do that. You go into some neighborhoods that you probably shouldn't be in. But you know what?
I've been in them all my life, though, Kurt.
But you're trying to make a difference, and that's the key.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Man, God just put that on my heart. Yeah. When he puts it there, till he moves your feet,
you have no
my
other choice.
My feet haven't been moving, so I'm stuck until God tells me to do something else. But, Kurt, let's shift to Murfreesboro. I when I got fired from coaching, I stayed because this community embraces people from different places.
Right. Exactly.
It's just I've had so many great friends. This is now home. This is where I will lay to rest.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take my last breath here. So, talk to me about why you chose Murfreesboro, Tennessee, to plant your feet in.
I think we chose Murfreesboro because what we looked at, we saw that we looked at the big picture, and the big picture Murfreesboro was growing, and we saw an opportunity to raise our boys here, but not only just to raise our boys here, is an opportunity to come in while you're rebuilding, trying to make a difference, and I think that's what we did. I think we came in at right time. I think we came back here in 2002, 3, 5, something like that. And we thought it was a great opportunity. As Murfreesboro was changing, it'd be a good opportunity for us to just put our roots here in our foundation. And we think it's the best decision we ever made. As Murfreesboro continue to grow, I want to be part of that change and making sure it continues to grow. We've seen a lot of good things happen here. I can remember it might have been when the week or the months, a couple months, they were just started building medical center when and it was only 2 lanes, and they came back and made that four lanes. Think about what medical center would be now if it only had 2 lanes.
And it's going to 6. But we're going to take a quick break, Kurt, and we'll be right back and get into some more Murfreesboro issues.
There are some treasures here at Bell Jewelers, up to 50% off, that are waiting to be discovered. Hi, this is Trevor at Bell Jewelers. So if you'd like to make a deal, come by here at Bell Jewelers. Just imagine yourself with a big old ring or nice bracelet or some nice big earrings. Like my granddad said, nothing sparkles like a Bell Jewelers diamond. Your favorite piece is just waiting to be discovered at Bell Jewelers. And it could be at our 50% off treasure chest. Bell Jewelers, 821 Northwest Broad, across from Toots.
Learn to make money 5 ways with rental real estate. Double your money with apartments and get your map to financial freedom. And that map starts with a free workshop. Sign up now at lifestylesunlimited.com. Click on the Join Free Workshop tab and attend online or in person. That's lifestylesunlimited.com. Lifestylesunlimited.com. Again, that's lifestylesunlimited.com. Limited seating, unlimited potential.
We're learning about Adams Place.
My name is Carrie Shannon. It was kind of hard to leave, but once you leave and you see where you've come to, you know that you made the right decision.
Do you enjoy the food?
Yes, at Adams Place, you feel like you are in an upscale restaurant. Really good food, good for you, and is very delicious. We enjoy it very much.
I'm Terry Deal. Call me about Adams Place. Phone 615-904-9111. Memorial Boulevard, across from Walmart.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by the law offices of John Day and AmeriCare Pest Control.
This is a paid legal ad.
You've probably heard it a million times. If you're injured, call a lawyer. And you probably haven't because you don't know how much it will cost, how long it will take, or even if you have a case. At the law offices of John Day, we provide a free initial consultation because we understand that folks don't want to pay a lawyer only to find out they don't have a case. If you think we can help, we do so on a contingency basis, which means we only get paid if you do. Seriously injured? Call me, John Day.
For 77 years, WGNS has told you what's happening in our community. Now let's check those Good Neighbor events. The Little Mermaid continues this week over at Riverdale High School. Don't miss The Little Mermaid. Main Street Murfreesboro's Downtown After 5 is this Friday. It's a night of shopping, eating, and fun. Downtown After 5 this Friday. And that's on the Murfreesboro Square. This reminder, please give blood to the Red Cross. They are critically low. And don't miss Quilts in the Borough this weekend. 9 to 5 on Friday, and 9 to 4 on Saturday. Quilts in the Borough on display at the Lane Agri Park. That's this Friday and Saturday. The Lane Agri Park is at 315 John R. Rice Boulevard. Don't throw away Old Glory. Bring your tattered American flag to WGNS and let the girls from BSA Troop 2019 at Trinity United Methodist Church retire it with dignity. Plus, we also recycle Bibles. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
High temperatures reaching the lower 60s for this afternoon with lots of sunshine. For tonight, partly cloudy, some frost possible late to low at 33. I'm meteorologist Michael Caro, News Radio WGNS. Currently, it's 31.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE Sharing Change has now donated more than $11 million to local nonprofits assisting worthy causes in our community. MTE, serving to make life better since 1936.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome back in. This is Andy Herzer, Executive Director of First Shot Foundation, here with my good friend Kurt Wade. Kurt, I learned something off air.
Tell us what you learned, Andy.
Listening to you and Brian Barrett. I thought North Thompson was a city street, and you guys told me it's a state highway. How does that happen in our town, or is it just the growth that we've gone out?
It's just the growth, and I think that's the perception is everybody thinks Thompson is a city road, and it's not. It's a state road. I mean, when you start talking about 231, you start talking about 99, 96. All of those are state roads, and everybody wants them widened, but there's a process that comes along with that, and the process starts with the state. So I'm glad that I had an opportunity to inform you today that Thompson Lane is not a city road.
But that's what we do.
Yeah.
As humans.
Exactly.
We assume a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then we don't listen. That's part of our problem, I think, in America. We don't listen.
Yeah.
And so, with that being said, you said you got a list of some stuff that's going on here in Murfreesboro, and then we'll get into some other stuff after that.
All right. So let's talk about the year 2023 and building permit activities that we had in 2023. We had over $1 billion in building activity.
Wow.
I mean, that's huge for a city of this size. And that was 23 projects, and then I think in the last 3 years it's been 2.7 billion. So that's a lot of things going on, a lot of activity and construction. And last year we had 1,392 building permits in our city. I mean,
just in our city. We're not talking the county. And the county is blowing up too.
Yeah,
right?
just straight city.
Wow.
I mean, it shows you that we're progressing. We're doing some things. We're trying to make some changes around here. So those are really big numbers to say we're not stagnant. We're growing. It's just, how do we want our city to grow? I can people say, do we want more apartments? Do we want more condos? Do we want more? And what we're trying to do, Andy, is balance it out. We got to do a balancing act for everything, whether it's apartments, whether it's condos, whether it's townhouses and houses. We got to do a balancing act.
So when you say that, my first immediate thing in that, when you have, because I'm living in an apartment.
Yeah.
And with my wife and I love it. All right, something breaks, they come fix it.
Yeah.
We're at that age, we don't want to deal with a yard. We're done. So when you say that, when we're building these big apartments or these townhouses where there's a lot of people in a small area of acreage, what comes with that issues? Is it water? Is it sewer? Is it...
It's a combination of a little bit of both: water, sewer, electric, and then you're looking at, okay, if this apartment complex, how many kids are going to be living in this apartment complex? Because that's going to impact schools as well. I mean, so there's a combination of different things. But I think one of the key things that you said, Andy, that stands out is you just said you and your wife didn't want to deal with cutting grass and all that other activities. You want somebody to help maintain. So you and your wife are sort of like the millennials now. They don't want that. They want to be able to go in, pay for everything, walk back out, walk to a restaurant, get something to eat, walk somewhere, have some entertainment, and walk back. That's what these new millennials want. We're trying to bring something different here, and I think with the Broad Street project that everybody see that Shoney's and all that's been torn down, I think this is going to be a great opportunity to change what our downtown looks like. And it's going to be a different downtown, but it's going to be a very different, viable downtown where we want people downtown. We don't want this place to shut down at 6 o'clock once all the business leave. We want people coming down here, shopping downtown. We want them eating downtown. We want them to have entertainment downtown.
Well, I think there's a lot of that to me that you go to any, like we were in West Lafayette. I think West Lafayette. Right? Or Lafayette. If you're in the South, but in Indiana, it's Lafayette. You see the same problem, but you also now see the same mixed use going on where the shops are on the bottom. You have, condos on top or apartments on top. It's and now you see a young vibe of people, coming and living in your town that aren't leaving,
Well, think about this, Andy. We've got Middle Tennessee State University here. You know, you got 25,000 kids there. I mean, we want those kids to, you know what, get those degrees, and we want them to stay here. And how do we get them to stay here? You got to have jobs, and they want a different type of lifestyle. And they don't want the same lifestyle that we had. They want something different. They want to be able to go shop, eat, and do it all under one roof and walking distance. So it makes a big difference. So the other thing is, I think you saw we just put in the road to the Gateway Boulevard extension from Robert Rose Medical Center Parkway. Just another
Great road.
Another avenue to cut across traffic, divert traffic, and move and keep traffic moving.
So with the amphitheater coming when it comes.
Yep.
That was the pre-planning so people can see what you.
Yeah, that was the pre-planning. You know, just like with the amphitheater, when I brought that back up to our council, and I said, hey, I know we talk about traffic, but those traffic is only going to be limited hours when you're talking about a amphitheater. That's going to be 6 and after those hours, and then it's maybe 10 or 11 after those hours. What we have to learn, Andy, is how do we work our way around that traffic? And what we do is look how Nashville works their way around. When they have an event, they run traffic one way for 10, 15, 20 minutes. That's going to eliminate traffic really quick. We have to start doing things like that.
Well, I mean, you know, being in Leadership Rutherford, one of the cool things was to go in and watch the traffic engineer do his thing, and it's a growing problem.
That's right.
And again, there's so many tools and things that we can do to help the flow of traffic.
Yep. And the other thing is we continue to work on a third lane for Medical Center Parkway, like we just talked about before. And then, you know, one of the other big things is the bridge over River Rock. And we're hoping to have that open up by the end of this year. That's going on pretty well. And that's going to be a big plus right there to ease some of that traffic from Cason Lane off of 99 and all of that through that Cason Lane area. And then you got the choice lane that TDOT is going to be doing with the interstates, and that's coming along pretty well. That's going to affect us as well. So we've got, and then the other big one is, I think we're at the process where we've acquired most of the land and everything with Cherry Lane exit.
So when do you see that project kind of 25?
Yeah, I think Cherry Lane's about a 25 project that time that we can start construction on that. So we're doing some things, and you see Town Creek is still continued to, and Town Creek is the Broad Street project, and then the Keystone project. That's the other name, is the Keystone project right here at Broad. Hopefully they're going to be anticipating breaking ground this summer, and then with anticipation of that being you'll be in a new building for the radio show, hopefully by 2027. So we just hired a new planning director, Ben Newman. It's been a year-long process, so I think Brian.
So give the viewers, what does a planning director do? What's his job?
Planning. He is basically overseeing everything here in the city as far as the planning aspect, and he's got a planning department, and making sure that they're following the guidelines, and also understanding. He's basically helping us paint a picture of how the city should be developed. And so we're excited about.
Does he have to come in, or has the council already got a 5, 10, 15-year plan, right? That's already in place.
Yeah, that's already in place.
He just has to execute it?
He's going to be executing the plan, because he actually took the place of Greg McKnight, our former planning director. I think Greg got promoted to executive director. So we're excited about this. You know, it's good to sometimes to have new eyes, new blood on some things, before somebody has a different vision. Somebody can see stuff different. And it's okay to have a different vision. You didn't have to grow up in Murfreesboro. We want somebody that brings something different to the table. I think when we're looking at hiring people, we're looking at people that bring something different to the table. And I think this is what Ben does. He brings something different to the table.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And just another thing. The Murfreesboro Airport received a 2023 Airport of the Year award from the Tennessee Aviation Association Conference in March. So that's a good thing as we continue to grow. You've been out to our airport. It looks marvelous. It's a great looking airport. We're doing some good things out there.
So with that length and all of that, again, that Middle Tennessee has had to move to Shelbyville.
Yeah.
Their aviation department. Tell us what's kind of come into there that made that traffic so.
Well, I think with and Middle Tennessee hadn't moved completely, so they're still occupying some airways right now. But I think what we're trying to do is we didn't want to be occupied by just one entity, and I think that they had taken over our airport. Not to say we didn't want them, because I want to make sure I'm not putting that out there in the atmosphere. We want to be a good partner to MTSU, and I'm sure they want to be a good partner to us. But I think they had outgrown our airport. You know, when you've got over 75 planes and you're dropping out of the sky from 6 in the morning to 12 at night, you're taking over our airways, and we've got other people that were trying to fly in. But as of right now, I think what our main goal right now is to get a tower built at our airport, and I think if we can we're moving towards that direction right now. If we get a tower, it changes who we are and how we can get more other flights coming in here as well.
Awesome.
Yep.
Positive growth.
I like to hear that. Positive. Let me see what else I can give you. Let's talk about, everybody wants to hear what food changed and what places are coming in.
You know what I'd rather hear, because I'm an old guy.
Okay,
what
old
local
guy.
place? Who's going to build the alley here, right? I'm a kind of shop local guy, Kurt.
Hey, I shop local.
I get you.
Hey,
no, I'm messing.
I know. Hey, if Sean is out there, tell Sean to build another alley on the other side of town. How about that?
Well,
hey, so you heard we got Trader Joe's coming.
Yep.
We got PF Chains coming. We got Drake's that's going to be out on Medical Center. We got Highway 55 Burgers coming. That's going to be on Franklin Road near Veterans. We've got First Watch is going to be building another facility on South Church at Joe B. Jackson. Chipotle's coming. And
to another.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're making progress, and we're trying to make sure that all sides of our city's covered with different opportunities, and I think we've done a good job with that. If you drive around town, we've got a really nice town.
So I've got one thing.
Okay.
The Kroger there behind Patterson, off of.
Oh, you're talking about over there?
It went out of business, right?
Yeah, and they put a tri-fit. So
how to now? Here's my thing, and Kurt.
Okay.
I'm going to come with this question. The number one problem I see is the nutrition of kids in our inner city.
Yep.
If we take a viable grocery store away from them, where do they go to get healthy, viable options? Because not everybody, we assume everybody drives.
Yeah.
That's not so.
That's true.
So, again, as someone that is in that area, serving that area, what do we do?
So we just did a story on that. Scott Broden interviewed me for the D&J, and basically that's what I brought up. And I had our assistant director with us, and that was Sam Huddleston. And what we've talked about is what can we get in that area to help that area. And it's not only helping that area. You got to realize what you have there is you got Middle Tennessee State that's less than 5 minutes away. You've got a whole area right there that needs I wouldn't say a low-end grocery store. They need a top-end grocery store there, because that's a vibrant area. It's a vibrant area. I think what happened is when Kroger decided to leave, I think Kroger had a lot of stuff spread out. They had put the one out on Veterans. So this store wasn't performing like the one out on Veterans, so they felt that this store was no longer needed. But I can attest to that. We have people working and trying to get a grocery store in that neighborhood.
All right. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back with Kurt Wade.
Hi, this is Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. You might know me as the voice of the Blue Raiders, but I want to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Whether you're buying or selling, it's time to choose Chip. Do you have a growing family and need to upsize? Are you an empty nester now and need to downsize? Are you thinking of selling your current home but just worried you can't find something else? Well, it's time to choose Chip. I'm looking to be your trusted advisor in real estate. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
Hey, we've got a traffic situation we want to make you aware of. I-24 at 840 on 24. There is some type of accident there. It's got 2 lanes blocked going northbound toward Nashville. So you'll want to avoid this area. It's quite a backup looking at the TDOT SmartWay camera. So again, avoid I-24 at around 840. If you can get past that, go on up to Smyrna and get around if you're headed into Nashville, or just avoid that area if you can, northbound 24 at 840.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game, getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan. Oh, come on, ref! That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Here at Bud's Tire, we make buying Michelin tires simpler. I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We offer a straightforward approach to service, including nationwide warranties with every purchase. Stop in today to see our full lineup of Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. For whatever you drive, Michelin and BF Goodrich have a tire to fit any need. Bud's Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
This message for all the men out there. Ladies, cover your ears. If you've been feeling tired and grumpy and have noticed a lack of motivation and drive, have weight gain and loss of muscle mass, these could all be signs of low testosterone levels. And at Low T Center, they make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. It's as simple as a blood test with their on-site lab, and they'll get your results back in about 25 minutes. What I love about Low T Center is geared towards us, men. They know we don't like to wait around. They know we're impatient. And they know that we like things simple. For me, at times, that means making things a little more simple to understand, too. Because we're guys, and we're more focused on heading home to start working on that project car in the garage. Who knows what you're thinking? We're guys. There's no telling. But let me recommend Low T Center. Most health insurance is accepted for treatment there, and they have the affordable and convenient treatment options that include physician-monitored self-inject at-home treatment for their established patients, shipping treatments directly to you. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
Welcome back in. This is Andy Herzer, First Shot Executive Director, here with my good friend Kurt Wade. And Kurt, I know that serving is a daunting thing, and I don't think people realize how much time goes into it, the grind of working a full-time job and then coming and doing the grind of what you do as a city councilman and giving back. But talk about how you balance that first, and then I'm going to ask one last question.
Okay. I think how I balance it, Andy, I had to realize, okay, I can't do everything and I can't be all things for everybody, because I've got to have a quality of life, but yet I've got to be able to say, I ran for this position to serve. So what I've learned is I'm going to do the best I can do. I can't sit on everybody's board, but I'm going to make sure I set up on 2 or 3 boards isn't enough for me with all the stuff that we have to do with council. And believe me, it's a lot.
It's unbelievable. My dad was a county commissioner.
Yeah. You understand.
He taught us boys, like your dad taught you, that if you're going to be in a community, you have to give back, whether it's in politics or whether it's in a nonprofit or whether it's with your church, he said you had to be involved.
Yeah.
So we learned that. You've learned that. But did you know going in how long and hard it would be?
I knew. Let me put it like this: I knew, but I didn't know until you get your feet in the fire. Anybody can tell you, I want to serve, but once you start serving, you didn't realize how you have to get into the dirt and really get dirty and realize this is work, and this is what the council is work. You know, it's not a day that there's not one day goes by that I'm not doing council stuff. I can be working on my own job and I'm still doing council stuff. So, but what I've learned is, just like you said, you have to learn how to balance it. And as far as a balancing act, because I've got to be able to say, I got to leave here, I got to go to council, I got to spend some time with my sons, Ben might have a golf match or whatever, or I might have to go see my other son. But it's a balancing act. But you got to enjoy what you do. And the key is enjoying, and you got to have that passion. And I think that's what makes me enjoy what I do, is because I have a passion for what I do. And for me to have that passion, I am going to run for re-election in August. I think there's a need out there for somebody that generally cares about our city. And I think if you look at my track record, it speaks about what can we make better for Murfreesboro, and how I voted in the past is I voted what's best for Murfreesboro, not just one thing, but everything I've done is trying to make Murfreesboro a better place, not only for our kids, but our future generation.
Well, Kurt, again, we've had great talks about many different things, and I know one thing. I see your heart, and your heart to make Murfreesboro the best it can be. It's never going to be perfect.
Exactly.
Right? And that's what I think people, we get into yelling and screaming instead of compromise and seeing both sides and understanding that, you know, I had a coach I worked for, he said there's lots of roads that lead to Rome to success, right?
That's right.
And, you know, you're telling people that you might have one philosophy, another one has another philosophy, but if we'll listen to each other, we can find some common ground.
Yep.
And we can make good decisions for our town and for our children mainly.
That's right. And that's the longevity of it, is what can we do to make our city better for each and every one that lives here? And just like you said, there has to be compromise. You're not going to get everything. It's just like people say, well, we got to quit building. Well, if we quit building, we're going to start dying. I think it's how we build and where we build.
And what we build.
Yes, exactly.
And how does it set up our next generation and how they want to live?
How does it impact?
Yeah.
Yeah, impact is the key word.
Right.
How does it impact our next generation? How does it impact us now? You know, one of the things we talked about today, traffic. Regardless of wherever you go, whatever thriving city that you go to, they're going to have some traffic issues. We have traffic opportunities. That's where I don't call it issues. I said opportunities, and we're continuing to work on those opportunities. So I think that's how I'll leave that. Is we've got opportunities around here to do some good things. We've got opportunities to make things better, and I'm looking forward to trying to make some better opportunities for our city.
Kurt, as you look at issues in Rutherford County, and our city is in our county schools are separate, but they're really jointly together.
Exactly.
Right. So with that, it's the same thing like traffic. There's always going to be issues in education.
Yep.
Where do you see some things that we can directly impact as citizens, not looking for the city schools to solve it all, but us as businessmen, and coming side by side and helping these cities, schools and county schools? What can we do out there?
I think one of the things that I would just promote to everyone that lives in the county or the city, we need to get involved in our schools a little bit more. We need,
even if you're my age, I have no kids anymore.
Yeah, you don't even have to have kids in school anymore. just be involved and know what's going on in the school system. And when we know what's going on in our school system, and not only knowing what's going on in our school system, just knowing the impact of some of the decisions are being made. A lot of times people don't even know the impact of things that are being made. I was out of town in Virginia this weekend, and I went to I think it was 8 to 10-year-old basketball game. We get to the facility, we can't get in the gym. And I'm like, we can't go in? They're just like, no, it's at capacity. I said, really? The gym is at capacity for kids from 8 to 10 because they had parents to come out and community leaders that were supporting them. So what they did was they let that one game get done. They transferred everybody out of the gym, and then they invited everybody else for the second game back in. That's amazing to me, because if you can have that much support for 8 and 10-year-olds playing basketball, that's amazing. If they can do that there, we can do that same thing here. Why is it that when the school board meets, we don't have more people out in the audience attending those meetings? When we have city council meetings, why don't we have more people in? We can complain, but we don't attend the meetings to know what's going on and to say, how can I make a difference?
I've always said, and we said it when I was coaching, they'd come in and complain about playing time or this or that. And I said, what's the solution? How are you going to solve this problem for yourself? See, it typically
That's right.
is, no, I've never met a coach in my life that didn't want to win.
That's right.
And he never sits someone to intentionally lose a game, ever. They may have had to discipline him, so then, therefore, it affects the team, but not because I want to set him. So, it's about, if you got a complaint, to me, Kurt,
yep,
have a solution when you
That's
come.
right. You always got to have a solution. So we got 2 minutes?
Yep.
All right. So I think I told you this, and I'm going to tell you, this is a funny story. So I'm working in the front office with the Jaguars. So we're playing the Indianapolis Colts one on a Sunday. So usually we would stay at the Western Hotel, but they got the Formula One race there. So I called a lady and I said, hey, we're coming back this year. And she says, we don't have space for you this year. And I said, that $99 rate, I'll pay $150. She was like, Kurt, you're not even in the ball game. Formula One race, they're paying $600 a night. I said, yep, we're not in the ball game. So I said, can you help me to find a place to stay? And so she says, your nearest place is probably going to be Muncie. I said, Muncie? Ball State University. That's the only thing I knew about Muncie at the time. So I get a car, and I'm seeing all these cornfields, and then I pull up. There's a
making fun of my state now.
There's a Holiday Inn there. And I'm saying, we don't stay in places like this. We stay in Ritz-Carlton's. We stay in Four Seasons. We're staying in luxury places. But that's all they had. So I go in, and I'm talking to the general manager. I'm talking to the sales lady. And she says, how many rooms you need? I said, I need everything you got. She was like, oh, we hit the jackpot. I said, I need it for Friday night and Saturday night, just in case. I just want to make sure that we got it booked. So I said, before I book this hotel, let me go to the airport. And I said, let me talk to the people at the airport. So I'm talking to the people at the airport, and I said, you ever had a 747 land at the airport here? Nope, you'll be the first. I said, are you sure that the runway long enough? We don't know about that. And I said, well, I think we need to know about that. And so I go back to Jacksonville. I don't tell Coach Councilman anything about what's going on. I just say, hey, Coach, we can't stay in Indianapolis because the Formula One race, we're going to stay in Muncie. Smaller hotel. We get to know where the players are at all the time because there's nothing to do in Muncie. He says, this is going to be a great trip. So I never tell them about the runway. So they said, so they tell me that once that plane hits, the end of the nose of the plane, by the time it stops, is going to be at the end of the runway, hanging off the runway. But it'll work. And I said, oh, shit. That's all I could say. And so that's Saturday morning. coach called and said, "Hey, we're about to head to see you." And I said, "All right." So
were you on the plane?
No, I'm I'm already there.
That tells you something.
Hey, I'm already there. I've got everything set up. I've got the buses waiting on the players, and all of a sudden, I can see the plane getting ready to drop out of the sky. I'm closing my eyes. I'm praying, "Dear Lord, please let this plane stop," because they don't even know how close it is. It's going to be off the runway. And that plane hits, and it skids, and it's just going. And I'm thinking, "Lord, please let this plane stop." That plane, the nose of the plane's hanging off the runway. He bags it up, and he comes around, and Coach gets off, and he says, "Man, that was a good trip." All I could say, "Coach, yeah, you're right."
You don't know how close it was to a bad trip. But isn't that life, though?
It is.
Just how close that you know you have to make decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that prepares you.
Yeah, it does.
You
It does.
know that you had something not go your way with getting the Ritz.
Yeah.
You had to back up, make plan B. Sometimes in life, and our city council probably has to do the same thing. Plan A is not going to work.
Yeah.
So how do we find plan B, plan C?
And that's what we have to do on a continuous basis. What works best for Murfreesboro, and how can we continue to make Murfreesboro a good place to live?
Well, again, Kurt, I want to thank you for being on the show with me. How can they help you, Kurt? How can the citizens that you serve help you?
Hey, my number is listed on the city website. If you have any questions, or if you just want to call and chat about something, give me a call. I don't mind. That's part of my job. And I look forward to the opportunity of serving this city. We will be getting out, and you'll be seeing signs once election season gets about. But my number is listed on the website, and I'll give you my personal number, 615-818-1002. I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Andy, I appreciate you having me today. I'd love to come back.
All right. We'll do it.
Thank you, sir.